Hi, I'm Stephanie Silverin, one of the owners and founders of Your Teen Media. Our college workshop series is brought to you by Ohio's 529 plan, College Advantage. This program is all about saving for college because they care so much about your child's future. Ohio's 529 plan, College Advantage, is an excellent partner to Your Teen Media as they value education and families much like we do. You can visit them at www.collegeadvantage.com backslash the plan that can. We hope you enjoy the workshop.
Hi, Sue Borison here with Your Teen Media. And today I am sitting with Scott Jaschik, editor of Inside Higher Ed, who's going to give us some inside information about being a junior today in high school and the desperate situation that most parents and teenagers are feeling at this moment when college is looming big. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I want to start with some piece of advice for juniors. What would you say to them right now?
Relax. And I know that sounds like a really crazy thing to say, but and there's a lot that will still need to be figured out. You know, how your pass-fail grades, if you're getting them, count, what the colleges are doing, when they're going to reopen. But remember, everyone is in the same situation. And colleges want you to enroll, they want you to apply, they're going to figure out some sort of way to deal with everything that looms large now. You know, take your courses online if you can, finish your AP classes if you can, and take the new AP exam. The other thing is plan to visit the colleges now, and that's very important. The colleges value visits a lot. You are more likely to be admitted if you visit a college. Not a guarantee, but more likely. In the fall, at some point, I believe colleges will reopen. Some of the articles I'm reading, and I'm not a scientist, say that we're going to get a return of the coronavirus next winter. So if you have an opportunity to visit a college and want to visit as soon as you can, don't wait.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question about parents of juniors in a minute, but I just want to follow up. For people who can't afford to travel and college visits show demonstrated interest, that's like the big language about showing up on the campus. What can they do, and what have they traditionally done? Because that won't change for them if they don't have the means. And for some people, that might just have happened. They had the means 2 months ago, but now they don't. How can they show demonstrated interest without showing up on the campus?
Well, first, you need to ask for money. There's nothing wrong with asking for money. They can only say no.
Money to
get to campus for a visit.
Seriously,
yes,
that's a thing?
Yes, it's a thing. There are colleges that have whole programs. Now, it doesn't mean everyone does it. Doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. It doesn't, but ask.
Wait, and they cover travel, those kind of things?
Yes.
Wow.
Now some colleges do it, but if you don't get money to go or you can't go.
Wait, let's back up for 1 second. So
sure.
Who do you call? You call the admissions office?
Admissions office, yes. Okay. Yes. And then, there are all kinds of ways you show interest. Do you call the admissions office? Do you call a professor in a field that you want to study and then write an essay in which you note you talked to the professor? Do you talk to a coach? All of these things are demonstrated interest. And I think colleges are going to have to look at demonstrated interest a little differently in the next year or so.
Okay, thank you. So probably similar things, but what do you want to say to parents of juniors right now?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, except I will add something about money, which relates to what I said about getting money to visit. Let's say your financial situation has significantly worsened. You need to tell you need to tell your student and have a frank discussion about what is possible if you are the primary person paying for it. But you need to ask the colleges for help. They have some money that, for this purpose, and you need to talk to the colleges. I think a big mistake many parents make is not talking honestly with their children about this issue. It's uncomfortable. We aren't a good society about talking about money, but you've got to do it.
So many schools are going test optional right now. University of Chicago,
Mhm.
Tufts, and I think many more will follow suit. Is it to somebody's advantage to still submit and to still take those tests and submit them?
It entirely depends on the student. Most students take the SAT or the ACT, and there are going to be times that you can take them in the fall. And then you just look at your score. But if you want to go test optional, it is 100%. It is guaranteed that they won't hold that against you, and so it's your choice entirely. We have lots of colleges that have already gone test optional in previous years, and there's not been evidence that the universities or colleges punish them. So I think they're doing it this year. Many are doing it because they want you to apply and they want you to enroll. So I would not fear it.
Okay, so at this moment, if someone is looking at a list of colleges and not all of them are test optional, would you encourage them to keep preparing for the SAT or ACT?
Yes, if you want to go to a college that requires the SAT or ACT, you should take the SAT or ACT. But you shouldn't let it dominate your high school experience. That's when I think it does more damage than good.
And because so many schools are becoming test optional, you'll be able to find one if your
Yes,
scores aren't what you
yes.
want.
I mean, look, there are lots of test optional colleges, very competitive, not so competitive, in the middle. You can find one.
So if schools are test optional, like if you look at a University of Chicago and it's test optional, which it is, what are they using? Are your grades becoming the most important thing now?
Yes, yes. I mean, they practice holistic admissions, which means they look at everything. But your grades in college preparatory courses are the single most important factor.
So this is a good segue to AP tests. Do you envision colleges changing, giving credit for AP this semester since kids have not completed those courses yet?
Yes, I think they need to take the AP test to show that they've finished. And they also have their AP grades from the high school grades. Yes, look, this relates to the first thing I said. Relax. They're going to figure it out. The colleges want to count your AP courses. They're going to find a way to do it if you get good grades. But at the same time, don't worry about using your AP in college. Most students don't. They take maybe they take a more advanced class, but most students don't use AP that way.
How are they going to control for cheating on the tests since they're going to be given virtually? When are they being administered? Have they announced that?
I don't think they've announced that yet, but they are going to use some sort of system of proctoring. Look, I don't know. Maybe they'll be cheating. I'm sure there will be some things that are inappropriate, but they have set up a system because they need to give the tests that will give students credit if they get a certain score. I think a student who has taken an AP course, is doing well in the AP course, should take the test.
Do APs factor into admissions?
Yes, I mean, a lot of colleges historically have viewed it as a positive point about a student, and depending on the high school options available, it may be the most rigorous course in your high school.
Okay, if we move on to so many unknowns right now, especially financial, and for families and for colleges, how did parents of juniors have that conversation? And even, I mean, you used to be able to kind of guess at what your family need was and what FAFSA might give you. Are all of those off the table and we have no idea what's going to happen?
Yes and no. I mean, look, it's going to be a crazy year because colleges are dealing with things they haven't dealt with before. They don't know, they don't know who's going to come in the fall, and that is going to influence a lot how they handle those who are trying to apply for the next year. But what we know is FAFSA, fill it out and apply. Discussions for the parents and students. Parents must talk honestly with their children about their finances. There's no shame in it, and it has a lot to do with how you plan this year. And then college parents need to share that information with the college and find out where their child can get financial aid.
So before you even fill out the FAFSA, can you get information by calling a financial aid office?
Yeah, and maybe not as much as you want, but you can talk to the financial aid office, the admissions office. They are there for you. Use them.
I remember when my oldest applied to college, that was the biggest shock to me, that you could call, that it was a two-way street. You could call them up and that they would help you. Like they
Yes,
seemed like this distant office that you should never reach out to. But you're saying parents should pick up the phone and call and ask their questions directly to the colleges.
absolutely. If you are unclear, plus now remember we're talking to juniors today and their parents. You have a tremendous advantage over the seniors. The seniors had their financial situation change after they'd applied, after they'd filled out the forms. You at least can give them a fair representation of your wealth.
Okay, so we talked about college visits a little bit before. We talk about it often from the side of demonstrated interest, but how about if we look at it from the perspective of the student? How important is it for the student? We know that a bad tour guide, a rainy day can influence how you feel about the campus. Overall, how important do you think that is?
They're very important. If you can go. Students base their decisions perhaps on things like the rainy day and not wanting to come. But ultimately, a college choice is about fit in addition to being about academics. And a student feels comfortable or doesn't feel comfortable walking around the campus. That's just reality. And so I think it matters a lot.
I think colleges are doing a lot of virtual tours right now, and I think there are even some companies that put out virtual
Yes.
tours. How effective are those?
They're very effective right now. They are definitely a help for students, even if you're going to go visit. They can give you a sense of the place, and colleges are getting much more creative about what they do online. And smart colleges also are creating lots of small portions of video content. So the student who needs information about financial aid can find it. The student who wants information about how your roommate is picked can find it. So I would definitely encourage you now to go and use the online materials.
Well, the virtual visits reminds me of like picking a hotel or an Airbnb. Like you start to get really good at knowing where you're going to be happy. So maybe it's really important for those juniors to start looking at that right now.
It's very important. At the same time, I would just caution the video presentation is what the college wants to tell you. So it might not be everything, but it's good.
And how about reaching out to current students? Is there an easy way for a junior to find out if, let's say, they don't know anybody at that college, can they get a name somewhere?
You need to call the college
You're
and
frozen.
ask
Wait,
for
you
names.
froze again.
It's
Give me a
doable.
second. Give me a
Okay.
second. Let me ask you
Okay.
again.
I can just answer the question when we go live.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah. If you don't know anybody, I mean, the best thing is to find somebody from your high school. But if you don't know anybody, call the college and ask for a student's name. They'll give it to you.
That's great. Okay, so last questions. What should students and parents worry about at this moment? I think you've spoken about the finances.
Yeah.
Anything else to worry about?
I mean, the finances are the big thing. Frankly, if you're worrying about the finances, you've got the worry covered.
And just because these are such trying times, can you leave us with something hopeful and optimistic as parents of juniors?
Sure. I mean, colleges today are in a major panic and very concerned about what's going to happen. But look what's happened in the last few weeks. Professors have taken their courses online. Colleges have taken their admissions materials online. Why are they doing this? To help students, new and old. Colleges want you. You fill out the forms,
You're off.
apply, you'll get in.
You're off.
Okay, tell me when.
You got to do the optimistic and hopeful again.
Okay, I'll do it again. I'm moving now. Are you seeing me move?
I am.
Okay, so can I start?
Yeah.
Look what's happened in the last few weeks. Colleges have taken their courses online. They've taken their admissions materials online. Why? Because they want to help their students and their new students. They want you, and they'll apply, and you'll apply, and you'll get in somewhere. So right now, focus on the process, not your worries.
Scott Jaschik, thank you so much for your time, and stay healthy and well, and we appreciate your advice.
Thank you. Bye.